everyone, I'm Miss Petrowski and I'm your English 9 teacher for this semester. This is your syllabus for fall semester of 2020. On the side here you can see that there are different tabs, so this will be on Schoology, and if you ever need to come back and see a part of the syllabus, you can just click on the specific tab that you want and you can pull it up easily and quickly. So let's talk about your course info. So this class is basically an introduction to English or high school English. We're going to do some reading skills, some writing skills, analytical skills. These things that we're going to be working on are going to be basically your foundations for high school English. Our first unit that we'll do is an introduction to writing. So during this unit, we are going to be working on your academic writing. So we'll be working on basic essay format, academic language. We'll be looking at how you create an argument. We're going to build off of some of the things that you've learned in middle school, and then we're going to actually introduce some new skills when it comes to writing as well. The writing unit is really important, and we start with it because you're going to be using it for the rest of this year and the rest of the time that you're in high school, and probably even after that when you head off to college or any other time that you have to write a paper, you're going to end up writing somewhat like this. So we want to make sure that we get you the basics so that you have a foundation for writing in high school. Our second unit is our short story unit. So we're going to be looking at how authors create a theme. We'll be looking at how authors make their choices about symbolism, setting, characters, imagery, plot, so that they can create a theme or a message for their readers. This is going to prepare us to go into some longer texts because our next unit is a novel unit. During this unit, we're going to be looking at theme as well, so we're going to be looking at a lot of the same things like theme, characters, setting, plot, imagery, symbolism, all of those things, so that we can figure out how those choices that the author makes creates the theme. And then you'll be completing a theme project that goes along with that. So we will be looking at that. That'll be like November, December time. Then in January, we'll do our final project or our final unit, which will be a research unit. During this unit, you are going to find information and prepare it in an organized way so that you can present it to your peers. For this unit, it will be some kind of presentation. What that presentation looks like is all kind of dependent on where we are in the year. If we're 100% distance learning, if we're 100% back in school, if we're still doing a hybrid model. So you get more details when it gets closer to that time about what that presentation will actually look like. But those are your basic 4 units that we will be going through this semester. That'll give you the foundation for second semester and for the rest of high school. For grading policies, which is usually what all the students want to know about, is our district grading scale is here. You can see that under 65% is considered a failing grade. So we want to make sure that it's higher than that. We use weighted grading here. So all the 9th grade and 10th grade teachers, actually, we all weight our grades 90% for assessments and 10% for practice work. So assessments are any tests, papers, projects, speeches, any major big thing at the end of the semester or at the end of a unit. Those things are weighted as 90% because we assume that by the end of the unit you've had enough practice, you've had enough skills, you've learned enough that you are able to do it, and that we can tag a little bit more onto your grade for that. With the practice work, we only assign 10% of your grade to practice work, because when you're doing the practice, you're doing the homework, you're still learning, and we don't feel that it's fair to penalize you if you don't quite know it the second we introduce it to you. So we like to give you a little bit of time to figure it out where it's not so high stakes, and then at the end, then it's worth more of your grade because you've had time to prepare. Let's say we get to the end of the unit though, and you're like, I still don't get it. We have a resubmission policy. So if you turn in a paper and you don't get the grade that you want and you think that you can do better, you can resubmit. So to resubmit, you have to demonstrate that you have looked at your rubric, looked at the comments that are on your paper, and that you figured out what areas you need to work on. Then you need to show me that you have worked on those areas. Some of the things you might do include going to an elk time, talking to a teacher, getting help from a friend, getting help from a parent or a tutor, going online and finding educational videos, doing some no red ink. You're just practicing those skills a little bit more and gaining more information about those skills so that you can go back to your paper and you can fix that part of your paper up. One of the requirements for resubmitting a paper is that all of your practice work has to be turned in on time, or it has to be turned in. If all of your practice work isn't in, you are forfeiting the option to do a resubmission on your summative work. So if you want to do summative work, all of your practice work has to be in. When you go to resubmit, I will need your original copy of your paper, your original rubric, and your new copy. So when you go to make resubmissions, when you go to make revisions, make sure that you go and make a copy of your paper first, and then make your revisions on the new copy so that we can see what you've changed. Then in that new copy, you'll also highlight any of your changes, and then you'll tag a note with it that'll explain why you made those changes and why you think it makes your paper better. When it comes to resubmissions, there is a place on Schoology for you guys to go. You'll see it in your Schoology video. It's in the Classroom Essentials. And then there, in this folder, there are resubmission forms and information for you guys so that you know what you have to do in order to resubmit. We also accept late work. All late work is accepted. Practice work has to be in by the last day of the unit. If you try to turn it in after that, it won't be accepted. Late practice work won't be accepted after the unit is complete. Assessments, however, will be completed or will be accepted at any time throughout the semester. Be careful about that though, because when you do that, then you end up, you're working on that and we're working on the next unit, and then you get behind in the next unit, and then it kind of snowballs, and it's not great. Especially in this type of learning environment where we're doing a lot of stuff online, we're in class a couple days, we want to make sure that we're keeping really on top of our stuff, because it could be easy to get confused or get lost or get behind in this. So make sure that you are keeping up. For late work and resubmissions, if you turn in your work late, you are forfeiting written comments. That's one of the consequences of not turning your stuff in on time. So you'll get a rubric with it if it's a summative, but you won't get any comments on it because it's late, and that's one of the consequences for turning things in late. So make sure that you are keeping up so that you don't have to forfeit any of those opportunities. Classroom policies. So in this classroom, I expect respect from everybody and for everybody. So I will respect you. I will respect your education. I won't give you busy work. I won't give you guys have a lot of stuff to do. I'm not going to give you something to do just to do it. Whatever I give you is so that you can learn and so that you can improve. In return, though, I expect that you treat me and your classmates with the same respect so that we can have a safe learning environment for everybody. Make sure that during class you are listening, that you are following through on your work, that you're doing your best. I don't ask for perfection. Nobody can do that. That's unrealistic. So make sure that you are just trying your hardest so that I can see where you might need help or what kinds of things you might need. And make sure that if you need help or you're stuck or I'm confusing, make sure that you are speaking up so that I can get you the help that you need. For class, it's your responsibility to make sure that you're bringing the things that you need for class, whether that's at home or it's here in school. So for this class, you will need a notebook, you'll need a folder, you'll need pens and pencils, you'll need an independent reading book, and you will need a charged Chromebook. Charged is the most important thing. I know that in the past, a lot of students have wanted to bring with their chargers. The school encourages you guys not to do that, especially this year, because I can't guarantee that you will be close enough to an outlet to charge. And with social distancing regulations, I can't promise you that I'm going to be able to move you to a spot where you will be able to plug in. So make sure you come with that guy charged every day. Another thing that you might want to bring that isn't required but highly suggested, and you probably already have it at home, bring some headphones or some earbuds with you. Since we're going to be doing a lot of things online this year, there will be videos to watch and things to listen to that you are going to need your earbuds for, or that might just be easier to have earbuds for. Cell phones are another thing. Make sure that you have them off when they are supposed to be put away when we're doing things in class. When we have work time, I'm usually okay with people listening to music while you're working. You have to ask for permission though first. Don't just whip it out and whatever. So make sure that you are asking for permission. If it becomes a distraction and you're not actually just listening to music, you're on TikTok or you're on Snapchat, then it'll become a problem, and then I have to take it away from you, and that's no fun for anybody. So make sure that you just keep it put away unless you ask. COVID. We are learning during a pandemic, you guys. So there are a few things that we need to remember that are a little bit different than in previous years in order to stay healthy so that we can stay in school. So make sure that you keep your mask on. It has to be covering your nose too. Don't put it on down here. That's pointless. So make sure that it covers your nose the whole time you're in class, covers your face. Because we have to wear a mask the whole time, we will not be having any food or drink in class, which is kind of a bummer. So make sure that you're getting hydrated or having your snacks some other time. We can't do it in here. I'm sorry. As much as possible, you guys will have to stay in your desk or near your assigned area so that we aren't breaking social distancing regulations. This year, paper materials are going to be really limited. We're going to be doing a lot of work on Schoology so that we can limit how close people are together, how many things we're all touching. If you would rather have a paper copy, you are more than welcome to print. Your Chromebooks are connected to the school printers, and I'm really close to the library. So if you need to print, we can always make that happen, but otherwise most of your stuff is going to be on Schoology this year. Please respect any off-limit areas or materials in the room. There are some places in my room that are marked off. There are some places that, like some desks that you can't sit on. Please make sure that you are listening to that so that we aren't breaking any social distancing and so that we're not contaminating things that don't need to be contaminated, because we are still in the middle of a pandemic. And for the love of Moses, don't touch each other. Just keep your digits to yourself at all times. On your hybrid days, so if you are a hybrid student, you are going to be in class some days, and some days you're going to work from home. Please make sure that on your hybrid days, you are paying attention to Schoology. That is not just a day off. It is a day that you are expected to be doing whatever work you would have been doing in school. So you still have to do it. Having a planner this year might be really helpful so that you can keep everything kind of straight so that you know what's going on. But make sure that you aren't treating those hybrid days as an off day, because when you show up the next day, I'm going to expect that you have done that work. Some ways that you can organize yourself on Schoology is looking at the monthly calendars that I posted, looking at the daily agenda. I have everything linked on the agenda, and then look at due dates that are listed on the calendars, the agenda, the handouts, the drop boxes. I'm going to try and post things in as many places as possible so that you guys don't miss anything.